Okay, good evening once again. Top of the seventh. 1-0 Houston on top. So we're in the top of the seventh. Houston Astros are batting in the top of the seventh. So that is Jason Castillo coming up. He's 0 for 2. So let's go join the action. Pitch in there for 2-1. As you count 2-1 on the pitch count. So Seattle on top, 1-0, top of the seventh. Here's the pitch. Fly ball. So left center field, so base hit. So they start off the top of the seventh with a base hit. Steele gets on first. Nobody out. TXU's free nights and so plan saves money all day long. We all live once again here on Facebook, YouTube, and Twitter. See the frustration from Astros and Mariners. Astros have 10 hits. So next batter is Miles Straw coming up here at the top of the seventh. Throw to first. Castillo gets back in time. Still 1-0 here on Facebook, YouTube, and Twitter. First game tonight, Baltimore defeated Texas Rangers 6-1. So this is the second game of the even between the Astros and the Seattle Mariners. So we all live. So it looks like a bound coming up. Let's see. Let's give you the feed. So that's we're gonna give you the feed. It's happening in the broadcast. Seattle's pitching coach coming in to talk to the Chris Flexen for the Mariners. So he has 6 innings to work, 3 Ks. So new pitcher coming in for Seattle. So new pitcher coming in. So it's a pitching change coming up here in the top of the seventh. Your score is 1-0. Houston on top. So let's give you an update on some games going on in Major League Baseball. One game of note. Dodgers on top, 1-0, top of the seventh. So Dodgers have a runner at first and nobody out. That's in the seventh inning. All the other games are finals, so we'll go through all the other scores. Final score, Nationals win 6-2. Rays win 6-3. Toronto had a doubleheader today. They win 5-1, but split the second game with the Rangers 3-2. Chicago Cubs went 13-4 over the Braves. That's the winning pitcher was Williams for the Braves. Also, St. Louis wins 9-4 over Philadelphia. So we'll go through the other scores with you. Okay, the other scores. Once again, Boston wins 7-4. So Boston wins 7-4. Detroit wins 7-0. Cleveland wins 3-2. Cincinnati wins 3-2. Doubleheader between the Mets and the Colorado Rockies. Let's give you the first game recap. 4-3 was your final, so that was the first game. And Colorado wins game 2 7-2. And final in 10 innings, Marlins win 7-6, so they get a walk-off, so they win 7-6. Final score in that game. And let's see, last but not least, Milwaukee wins 7-1, so Milwaukee wins 7-1. We're back to game coverage. Seattle and Stillwater, Oklahoma. That's Casey Sadler coming in 0.01 ERA, 2.25 ERA, 25 strikeouts and 3 walks. No, 5 strikeouts and 3 walks. Excuse me. 5 strikeouts, 3 walks. So the first pitch is in there for a strike.
Fastball velocity at 93 miles an hour. So I should put a visual up there for fans to see. Yeah, so you can see what to look for there. Very similar to what hitters see before they get to
that pitch is going to be in there for ball 1. 1-1 is the count.
Break it down to counts when you might see a pitch. Look for some of the more.
So Miles Straws comes
try and anticipate what pitch you're going to get.
Comes up for Houston. Still 1-0. Pitch. It's going to be a fly ball. That's going to go to right. Field. That's going to be foul. So that's going to so 1-2 on the count for Miles Straw. So he had a pretty good run, but it did slice foul. So the count is, remains 1-2.
Self-preservation. Straw has never had a 3-hit game. Looking for one tonight. He's 2 for 2.
So Straw comes up here in the bottom of the top of the 7th. No outs.
Tonight, but never as many as 3. Castro on first base, nobody out.
Pitch coming up. That's going to be outside. That's going to bring the count to 2-2. So 2-2 is the count. Seattle and Houston game here on Facebook, YouTube, and Twitter. So we are live. So let's see. So once again, it is still 1-0. Pitch. Fly ball to shallow center field, and that's going to be caught. So that's going to get the first out in the inning for the Seattle Mariners.
Bring up top of the order, Kyle Tucker.
Kyle Tucker comes up here in the top of the 7th, so he's 1 for 3 tonight. 1 for 3. So we are doing Seattle and Houston here on Facebook, YouTube, and Twitter. We are live. So pitch. So pitch coming up. 5 pitches for Sadler. So the pitch coming up here. And that is
first pitch swinging, fouls one away.
So that's going to bring up the count 0-1.
It's a little cutter he throws into lefties a lot. That showed you 51% of the time.
So the cutter's 151%. Damn, that's amazing.
Not many at bats in this Astros lineup against Sadler. Tucker has 1 at bat, has a base hit against him. Michael Brantley has 1 at bat, has a home run against him.
Pitch. That's going to be low.
Down it in, it's 1-1.
Oh, 1-1 is the count.
Astros with 10 hits, Mariners with 4.
So he scores
Just 1 extra base hit of their 10.
still 1-0. Astros on top. 1-0 Astros. And that's going to be right field. That's going to be caught.
Round number 2, Sadler gets.
So that's going to be out number 2.
With 2 outs, it'll bring up Yuli Gurriel. It's got to be a big swing in here somewhere, right? Feels like it. It's hard to get all those guys leading off innings with base hits and not turn it into much more offense than we've seen. Yuli is lined out to right, grounded into a double play, and grounded out.
So that's Yuli Grunham coming up for the Astros here. That's going to be in there for, let's see, ball one. That's a slider. So 1-0 is your count.
Laredo slider coming in there.
Here on Facebook, YouTube, and Twitter. So we are live. Isaac's back on. Let's see if we can get him back in.
Average with runners in scoring position.
So that pitch is going to be in there for a strike. So that's going to be 1-1. So 1-1 is your count on Yuli Grunham.
Yeah, that's tough. Zach's done everything anybody could have asked from him this far in the game. You know it's a little bit tougher with some of those guys on the injured list, but they've had a couple of opportunities.
And that pitch is going to be in there for ball two. 2-1 is your count. Next battle is going to be Brentley coming up. That's going to be on deck. And the hole is Correa.
He's been the guy carrying the offense.
2-1. Low and away ball. Great. 3-1 is the count.
He's got himself a hitter's count. You heard TK saying best hitter in that Astros lineup this season as far as average and on-base percentage. Yuli's sitting on 1 home run.
Pitch in there for a strike, so that's going to count remain go full to 3-2.
Last 6 games for the Astros, 176 batting average with runners.
Last 6 games he's not been hitting well. 176 for Yuli Grunham with runners in scoring position. That's kind of, he only had 3 extra base hits. It's going to be fouled off.
Back the 3-2 pitch.
So still 3-2 is your count.
Castro not being held on with a full count and 2 outs was off with the pitch. Seattle's been a good place for Houston over the years, especially recently. 2 seasons ago, Houston went 18-1 on the season against Seattle. Last year, 7-3 in the limited schedule.
Pitch.
3-2 pitch.
So it's going to be a ground ball to third. The throw is going to be in time. So the Astros. So once again, we're in the bottom top of the 8. Still 1-0. Houston on top. Next one is Turin. As Mola Julius, if I'm saying his name right. He's on deck, and the in hole is going to be White. So that's going to be your order 4, 4, 5, and so 4, 5, and 7. 4, 5, and 7 comes up for the Seattle Mariners here at the top of the 8th. Your score is 1-0 here on Facebook, YouTube, and Twitter. We are live. So let's give you an update on the Golden State Warriors and the see what's going on with that game. So we'll give you a final update on that game. So we'll give you a final game update. I'm going to put that up on the screen, and we'll give you a final game update on Golden State and Boston. Golden State loses 119-114 to Boston tonight. So 119-114 is your final in that game. So Golden State finishes with 51% shooting. They also went 17 of 40 from three-point range for about 42%. So they kind of knocked down some threes. I know it was Steph Curry tonight, so that was in the game. So we'll recap that one later. So we're getting back to game coverage with the Astros and Mariners top of the 8th. Your score is 1-0. Astros bottom of the 8th, bottom of the 7th. So bottom of the 7th. Bottom of the 7th. I keep saying bottom of the 8th, so I'm ahead of myself. So bottom of the 7th. Your score is 1-0.
Trust me when I tell you.
Astros. So we just got on here in the 7th inning. So kind of
going back to the dugout. you go to the bottom half of the seventh inning and a 1.
So
Zach Greinke facing Luis Torrens.
Torrens comes up, gets your pitch in there for Greinke. Is still in the game, so Greinke's in the game. 4 strikeouts for him. It's in there for strike 1. The first offering, strike 1.
What that trade was from the Seattle Mariners.
Pitch coming up.
Picking up a lot of prospects.
That's going to be in there for strike 2. 0-2 is your count.
The shortstop Guillen. Who was it? There was an infielder in that trade too. Carlos Guillen. Yeah, there you go.
So pitch coming up here, and is going to be strikeout. So Greinke gets strikeout number 5. On the so it was an 0-2 pitch strikeout by Torren. He's 0 for 3.
Velocity change on that one a little bit too, down to 84 miles an hour.
We will be doing Biloxi Shuckers baseball this year. That will be on May 4th. We will have the first game for you, so we'll be doing that next month. So Biloxi Shuckers baseball returns here on Facebook, YouTube, and Twitter to the airways. So we will be having that game.
Seattle had a good years with Seattle and Alaba worked out of their bullpen for a while. Carlos Guillen.
So next batter coming up is
pretty happy with the way that worked out. Yeah, I would say.
Mala Joe.
Seattle has a tie.
Saying this, they got some pretty tricky names, but he's a left fielder. He's hitting 240.
Randy Johnson in 98 or Justin Verlander.
Here's your pitch.
Verlander's first start with the Astros.
And that's in there for a strike.
There's a strike to the knees from Greinke. It's 1-2.
So 1-2 is your count.
It's a little more of a traditional changeup because of the speed that Zach is taking off at 81 miles an hour on that one.
Swing and a miss.
67-mile-an-hour curveball.
67. That is amazing. On 79 pitches, he throws a 67-mile-an-hour curveball, and that's a strikeout. Wow. 6 strikeouts for Greinke tonight, so excellent.
Greinke has 7 whiffs tonight, 4 on the curveball, including that last pitch, and 3 on the changeup. Here's Evan White, 1 for 2.
So Evan White coming up for 1 for 2. That is going to miss. Ball 1, 1-0 is your count.
White lined down his first time up, single to left his last time up.
The pitch going to be in there for
fastball in, 2-0.
ball 2, 2-0 is your count.
His 3 starts has made 82, 96, and 90 pitches. And on a very efficient pitch count all night long, averaging 12 pitches per inning coming into the 7th.
Pitch. It's going to be a ground ball. 1 hopper, and that's going to be the out. So Zach Greinke. So once again, Seattle doesn't score here in the bottom of the 7th. We go to the top of the 8th. The score is still 1-0. On deck for the Astros is Brentley, Correa, and Diaz. So that's 3 guys coming up. That's going to be 3, 3, 4, and so that's going to be 3, 4, and 5. 3, 4, and 5 tonight on the here in the top of the 8th. Scores still 1-0. So Greinke tonight absolutely has been having an excellent night. 4 hits giving up. He only didn't walk anybody. Struck out 6. His ERA is 2.92, so a pretty good ERA for Zach Greinke. for the Astros. So that's once again, their pitching is just absolutely just working tonight. So your score is 1-0. So here on Facebook, YouTube, and Twitter. So we are live here on. So this is the second game of our doubleheader here. So second game, we were supposed to have LA Angels and Minnesota Twins, but unfortunately they had it was a COVID scare. And they had to cancel the game, so we're not doing that game. We're doing Seattle and the Houston Astros. So we're in the top of the 8. 1-0 is your score.
All right, Julia, 8th inning baseball. Astros would love to give Zach Greinke a little more margin than one.
So Will Best comes up for Seattle 1-0 record, 1.08 ERA. He has 5 strikeouts and 4 walks. So Will Best comes up here in this top of the 8th. So new pitcher coming in. So Brantley coming up.
Starter Chris Flexen 2 for 3 with a double and a single. Brantley has scored the only run of this game.
Almost hit him, so that's ball 1. So his pitching uses, he's against lefties 55%, changeups 33%. So righties he's got a pretty good percentage, 62%. Will Best. So that's kind of that's once again that's going to be ball 2.
Facing his hometown team. Yep. Kind of an interesting story, Glover. Best went, as we saw to Ridge Point, the Panthers. That's a school that just started in 2010, and he was one of the first students in there, and the only student so far who's been in the Major League draft. Got drafted in 2013, or got drafted after he finished up at Ridge Point, and it would attend Stephen F. Austin. He was in the 2017 draft out of Stephen F. Austin.
Fouled off.
He's a middle infielder.
So that's going to be 1-2. No, excuse. 2-1. 2-1. 2-1.
Nice.
That's 2-1.
Was a pretty good shortstop for them for a few years.
I keep.
But he wasn't hitting at all. He's a great defensive shortstop. Wasn't hitting, and Best went to his coach and said, "I'd like to try pitching." And the coach wasn't sure, but they eventually agreed to let him.
That's going to make the count. Grade 1. That's grade 1 is the count. On
How about that?
Michael Brantley.
After being a middle infielder most of his career, shortstop. But he is a guy that the Tigers had in their minor league system, and the Mariners took him in the Rule 5 draft this year.
Fouled away. So that's brings the count to 3-2.
Done now. Picked a Rule 5 player 4 straight years. Last year they got Yohan Ramirez from the Astros. They've gone to the bullpen. Brandon Brennan the year before. They've gone to the bullpen with a Rule 5 pick 3 years in a row with now Best after Brennan and Yohan Ramirez. 3-2 the count to Brandon.
So here's your pitch. 3-2. Strike rate call.
Third strike. Brantley thought it was up and in.
So Brantley down on strikes. Brantley goes 2 for 4 tonight, but he's has 1 strikeout tonight. So that's those pitch strike zones. So he had
I could have just been frustrated with himself too. I think there was a little bit of it too. Maybe got a couple of fastballs before that 3-2 fastball that he struck out on to hit.
So the next batter coming up is going to be
there's Carlos Correa.
Correa coming up. Fouled off.
Fouls away.
So that's going to put the count at 0-1.
Will Best, a lot of people in the area may have seen him pitching in little leagues or in high school.
So second pitch, the pitch coming up here.
How about that? Maybe should have called Sparky for a scouting report. Sparky said he scouted him in little league.
That's going to be Low and away. That brings the count to 1-1. So it's like I said, down in the see where it's at. It's right in this area. So that's a ball. So down in the dirt. Pitch. That's going to be outside. That's going to bring the count to 2-1.
Scott Servais must think highly of Will Vest to be putting him in a one-run game in the 8th inning. He's been very good. This bullpen in general has been really good lately. Yes. They're stretch winning 6 out of 7 games, but
that pitch is going to be bring the count to 3-1. That's going to be pitch in the strike, so it's going to be outside the strike zone. So once again, the count is 3-1. Pitch coming up, and that's going to be outside again. So that's going to be ball 4, and the Astros will get a walk. So the runner will go to first. And 1 out.
Tomorrow will be on the air at 2:30 for a 3 o'clock first pitch. 3:10 to be exact.
So it's going to be 3:10 tomorrow for the Astros and Mariners. And that pitch in there for a strike. So that's the first strike offering.
They were deciding between 2 lefties, Justice Sheffield and Nick Margevicius.
So strike 2.
Called Diaz and Vest ahead, 0-2. So we're going to say it's Sheffield.
Fouled off. So Diaz comes up. So it's 0-2.
Diaz 1 for 3, single in the 4th inning, grounded into a double play his last time up.
Pitch coming up here. Throw to first. Runner gets back in time. Still 0-2. Pitch.
0-2 pitch to Diaz.
Fouled off.
One of the things the Mariners were waiting on was to
so
see
0-2 is your count.
Sheffield or Margevicius felt better in their throwing session today. Both of those guys started in a doubleheader on the same day in Baltimore, so you could go with either one. But apparently, it's going to be Nick Margevicius, as we have just heard in the last couple of pitches at Diaz. So Margevicius will get the start against Odorizzi tomorrow. Practice that name, Blummer. Nick Margevicius. Yeah, I've got homework tonight, that's for sure. Odorizzi and Margevicius, a lot of Scrabble letters and points in that.
Yeah. I mean, they weird names. I mean, that's one thing you got to look at. That Ada Zada, whatever his name is, that's another name that could be tricky names to pronounce for if you're a broadcaster. Okay, once again, 1, 2 is your count.
The Giants on opening night, April 1st.
Strike 3 call.
His second strikeout, both of them.
So that's a second strikeout for Will Vest. So he was a nice 2 going in the inning for the Astros.
83 miles an hour. Get a better look at it here. See him turn that over, almost turning it into a.
That's an excellent pitch right there. Excellent pitch.
83 miles.
But 83 miles an hour. That was a definitely strikeout right there. So So the last pitch was 83.
Here's Abraham Toro.
So Abraham Toro comes up. That's going to be outside, ball 1.
Fastball misses away, 1-0. During this stretch where Mariners have won,
So
7 games, including last night, their bullpen
Toro comes up. Abraham Toro comes up. He was 1 for 3.
They were able to come back down.
Here's the pitch.
3-0 in 5.
That's going to be in there for ball 2. 2-0 is the count.
As the bullpen shut down the Astros the last couple of innings. And unfortunately, the Astros relievers who started the 7th, 8th, and 9th innings all gave up runs.
Pitch. Strike.
To Toros,
So 2-1 is the count. 2-1 is the count. The score is 1-0 Astros here in the top of the 8th. Top
10 strikes, 10 balls in this inning. 4-wheel vest.
pitch coming up. Fouled off.
That was a good
So
pitch.
that's going to bring the count to 2-2. 2 balls, 2 strikes.
Zach Greinke looks like he'll get the 8th. He's been cruising. There was bullpen action up last inning when Zach was facing the middle of the order. Now that he's got the bottom third of the order, nobody warming up, so it'll be Zach to face the bottom third of the 8th.
So the bottom third of the bottom of the 8th for the fly ball to left field. That's going to be caught. And that ends the inning for the Astros. So they leave 1 runner on base. The scores are still after top of the 8th, 1-0. We're going to the bottom of the 8th here on Facebook, YouTube, and Twitter. So so he will face more Crawford and Haggerty. So more Crawford and Haggerty when they come up for Seattle. So let's give you a game update on San Antonio and Phoenix. So San Antonio and Phoenix, we'll give you a game update on those guys. So I'm going to give you those updates. Let me go over to that game cast. Okay, it is San Antonio on top, 72-49, 72-49 in the third quarter. So that game is going on as we speak here in the late night hours here of 10:30 Central Time, 11:30 on the Eastern time zone. So we're back to game action. Bottom of the 8th. Houston on top 1-0. That game, so we'll be going back to game coverage. Switch it back in. So we're waiting for the game feed, ATT Sportsnet feed to return. It should be up in a second. So we should have
which pitcher had the best short season with the Astros, and Justin Verlander are going to win big tonight.
So Justin Verlander with one short season. 72% says Justin Verlander. Randy Johnson, sure. He did play but the shortest season was Justin Verlander. Here's your pitch. And that's in there for a strike. So that's going to be more coming in batting here in the bottom of the 8th for the Seattle Mariners. Greinke throws the pitch, and it is in there for ball 1. 1-1 is your count.
He has been answering the bell every time. He's allowed 4 singles through 7 innings. He's been
So 1-1 is the count.
The edges. He's changed speeds frequently on all of his pitches.
That's going to be a foul off towards the backstop, so that brings the count to 1 ball, 2 strikes, 1 ball and 2 strikes.
Yeah, it's been fun to watch.
Here in the
to a statement that he wasn't going to throw the
bottom of the 8th, still 1-0 Houston on top.
Sinker, fastball, Curveball changeup. He's gotten some swings and misses on the curveball and changeup. Doesn't get a swing and a miss there.
So, here on Facebook, YouTube, and Twitter.
Line out to right and popped up to first. By the way, Brian McTaggart tweeting that you were 4 for 23 with a bomb against RJ.
Struck me out 9 times, but yeah, all 9 of those strikeouts were worth that one big swing.
Pitch.
Throws on the hook.
So it's going to be
into shallow center field. Miles Straw
caught.
in.
So one going in the inning. So that's one gone.
Well, here we go, Blummer. Side by side, Justin Verlander.
So Justin Verlander had a 5-0 record, but Randy Johnson, the unit had he was 10-1. He had a 1.28 ERA. He had 116 strikeouts. So that's a different comparison when it comes down to it. When he played for the Astros back in 1998, Randy Johnson, he also played with Seattle and I think it was the Arizona D-backs. It's going to be a fly ball. That's going to be to left field, and that's going to be caught. So that's out number 2.
Brantley makes the play for out number 2.
Yeah, Justin Verlander was
So out number 2 in the inning.
His time in Detroit was
Here in the
done, and they found the opportunity to make that last-minute trade, picking him up on August 31st. Unfortunately, we saw the machete in there in that highlight. But he was 5-0 with that 106 ERA. And once Brett Strom got his...
So his numbers, well, he had 106. Justin Verlander for them. For the Astros. So that's something right there. Comparing Randy Johnson with Justin Verlander. So that pitch is in there for strike 1. That's going to be Sam Haggerty coming up for the Seattle Mariners. Here's your pitch. That's going to be strike 2. 0-2 is your count.
Randy Johnson acquired, so he pitched the whole month of August and September, whereas JV just got the final month in. Zach Greinke with 2 outs, nobody on, ahead of Sam Haggerty, 0-2.
So 0-2 for Sam Haggerty. Pitch coming up for Sam Haggerty. And it's going to be a ground ball. Throw to first in time.
Shutout inning so far. Has only allowed 4 hits. Astros lead 1-0.
So pretty good. 6 strikeouts for Zach Greinke. So we go to the bottom of the 8th. No, top of the 9th. So top of the 9th, Astros on top, 1-0. So I'll be honest with you tonight. Zach Greinke had an excellent even tonight. So let's give you his numbers. Zach Greinke, 4 hits given up. He walked none, give up no runs. He did struck out 6. The ERA is 2.81, so a pretty good night for Zach Greinke, to say the least. So your scores 1-0. He should get the win tonight. Once again, Jones, Castro, and Straws comes up for the Astros in the top of the 9th, so 1-0. Here on Facebook, YouTube, and Twitter, we are once again live. So we are live. Here on Facebook, YouTube, and Twitter. So I'll be honest with you. Look, all these games, look, the Astros kind of scored their runs. Now that's another guy, Jeffrey Bloom. That's another player for the Astros that was the biggest impact for them. So that he also played with the Montreal Expos.
about it, Plummer? That's a lot of knocks in the first 6 games.
Yeah, I was having a lot of fun in the big leagues.
We saw a lot of late greats in there. Tony Gwynn, the late great.
I know I picked on him a little bit out there in right field.
So pitching change.
How'd you start your
Keelan
career?
Middleton comes in for
Jones. He's enjoying his
so,
time in Seattle. 1 for 2 with a walk last
So
night.
it comes in for the Seattle Mariners here in the bottom of the 8th. That's going to be
now facing a new pitcher for the Mariners. Keenan Middleton takes
so
over.
Keenan Middleton. So that's going to be Taylor Jones 1-0 with the count. Top of the 9th, and score is still 1-0.
Mariners like Gregory Soto out there in Detroit, who showed up with
And the pitch.
Keenan's got that.
That's going to be outside. That's going to bring up ball 2.
Around 94, 95 miles an hour. Throws it a bunch. Will not throw that changeup to righties, but he will throw that slider quite a bit.
Happened to catch him closing that second game of doubleheader for the Mariners in their sweep of the Orioles, and he was fastball earlier in the year was 93, 94, but he was up around 96, 97, sometimes 98 in that save opportunity. Not that he can't hit that number again, but he has been a little bit lower, as Plummer mentioned, than he was when we saw him with the Angels.
Oh, he was bringing all kinds of noise when he was with the Angels, touching 98 frequently.
So the pitch.
Bottom third of the order: Taylor Jones, Jason Castro, Miles Straw.
So the bottom swing and a miss.
Breaking ball, swinging a foul tip, 2-2.
So that's going to be 2-2.
See Ryan Presley continuing to warm up in the Astros bullpen. So you wonder if Zach Greinke's night might be done. He has gone 8 shutout innings with only 91 pitches so far.
He has been absolutely incredible. Nice to see the Astros pick up an insurance run or 2 in this inning if they can.
Pitch. Swing and a miss. So it's a strikeout for Middleton. So his first strikeout of the inning.
Sportsnet app on iTunes or Google Play. You can also go to attsportsnet.com to stream from your computer. Log in with your cable account. You're all set. Available to customers with AT&T Sportsnet as part of their TV subscription. Blackouts and territorial restrictions apply. Some interesting stuff going on that screen right there, TK.
What do you see?
Saw some nuts from Dusty.
So it might be it, huh?
Possibly.
I think if Presley...
Pitch that's going to be high and away, ball 1.
He would be warming up now like he is. If he wasn't going to come in until mid-inning, he might not start warming up until in between. But he's warming up now like he's going to start the night.
Yeah, I completely agree with you. There is part of me that really would like to see Zach Greinke go out there because he has been so good and let him finish off, get that complete game shutout if possible. But Presley has been that closer of the Houston Astros. And Dusty Baker looks like he's going to make that choice. But again, we still have to wait and see.
Can you believe Presley hasn't had a save opportunity yet this year?
Yeah, we actually had a conversation a couple days ago. We were talking about some of the big leads and wins that the Astros have had.
That's going to be a fly ball, and that's going to be caught. So that's going to be out number 2.
Ballpark tours are the perfect way to experience Minute Maid Park in a new way. Book a pregame tour for a behind-the-scenes look at game day. Hit the history books with an African-American history tour, or seek out the paranormal with a ghost tour. Visit astros.com/tours to find the tour that is right for you. 2 outs, nobody on. One of the toughest saves. Well, all of them are tough, but a one-run
pitch coming up here.
Where your starters deal.
That's going to be Castro coming up here in the
That's what Ryan Presley.
So 1-0. That pitch is in there for a strike. So the count is 0-1.
So yeah, this is going to be a little bit tougher than normal, especially when he comes out and he's going to face the top part of that Seattle Mariners lineup.
Astros would love to give him more than a 1-run lead, but 2 out and nobody on for Miles Straw. And Middleton
that's going to be
for a swinging strike.
So it's 0-2 for Miles Straw.
Miles has 2 hits tonight. Astros with 10 hits on the game to 4 hits for the Mariners. First hit was a double tonight. The next 13 hits combined have been all singles.
Pitch. Almost close. That was almost a hit.
Strong is 1 ball, 2
So that's
strikes.
going to be 1 ball, 2 strikes.
Presley faced one batter last night after Ryan Stanek walked the first 2 batters of the 9th inning. Ty France with double, actually single, even though it was an automatic double, it was called a single.
Pitch.
Tell you more about that.
Fouled off.
Miles Strong,
But it is a strikeout, so the inning is over.
The 8,960 fans, which is ruled a sellout with the limited capacity, as it's 1-0.
So 1-0 is the score. So strikeout by Middleton. So the order is Hanger, France, and Seager comes up for the Seattle Mariners in the bottom of the ninth. The score is still 1-0 Astros. We will have another Major League Baseball game. Once if the Pelicans are not playing, we will have another one probably this week or something like that. So we will be doing Major League Baseball as well. So and also we'll be doing minor league baseball as well with the Biloxi Shuckers. That will be begin on May 4th. So the first game for the Shuckers, we'll have that game for you here on Facebook, YouTube, and Twitter. So you can follow us at facebook.com/Kerry.Weimar. That's number 75. Also, you can follow me on Twitter at Talk Kerry, and also follow me on the YouTube channel as well. Just search my name, Kerry Weimar Sports Talk, and you'll get the channel. So once again, please give us subscribe to us. Very important that you do. We want to expand the channels on YouTube. We want to expand. So far so good. We have 32 views, but we want to expand. So hopefully we will in the near future. But right now we're settling with that. We'll be so. We'll have once again pitching change coming up. That's going to be Ryan Presley coming in for Zach Greinke. Pretty good night for Zach Greinke and the Houston Astros. So we'll return to the game audio. So Ryan Presley comes in.
To a 1-0 game that Zach Greinke was brilliant in.
Looking to get his first save of the season.
So
Also his first
0-0 ERA, 1-0 on his record. 5 strikeouts and 1 walk for Ryan Presley. Here's the first pitch.
Presley had was against Tampa Bay in the
That's going to be in there for a strike. So he throws a strike at the
breaking ball in the outside corner to Haniger.
So Haniger is batting Mitch Haniger for the Seattle Mariners.
He's 0 for 3 with a couple of ground outs and a strikeout.
So 0-1 is your pitch. Let's see what happens here. And he throws it in the zone. That's going to be strike 2. So he's behind on the count. So Presley uses his 53% fastballs to lefties and also 48% to righties. So that's kind of what he's throwing. Curveball is about 12% to lefties and righties, 13%. So the pitch, that's going to be in the dirt for 1-2. So 1-2 is your count.
Saw Haniger's numbers against Presley, 2 for 4 with a walk.
Zach Greinke, 8 strong, 91 pitches, and 62 strikes out of those 91.
Pitch, swing and a miss. So that's the first strikeout to start the top of the ninth. Went out in the inning. Zach Greinke was absolutely on fire tonight, so he had a pretty good night. For Zach Greinke for the Astros.
the speeds on that nicely. It went as low as 67 and as hard as 75 miles an hour. But working all of his pitches to both sides of the plate, he actually helped himself out with a key double play in the middle of that game, flashing some of that leather to help himself out.
Now here's Ty France.
Ty France comes up here.
France with the singles last time up, 1 for 3 tonight.
And here's the pitch. It's going to be a ground ball. Throw to first. Correa throws it to first in time. So that's going to be 2 gone.
Looking on, a reminder that coming up after our game is the Astros postgame show presented by Whataburger. Kevin Eschenfelder, Brian Bogusevic will be the host tonight, and they will tell you about all this game and Zach Greinke's fine outing, Zoom interviews, highlights, all coming up on the Astros postgame show presented by Whataburger. Odorizzi Margevich is tomorrow.
Odorizzi comes pitches, so it's Odorizzi. I'm saying this. I don't want to butcher his name. It's like a Scrabble word, but it is Odorizzi pitching tomorrow for the Astros, and that pitch.
Ryan Presley trying to finish off with Zach Greinke was brilliant for 8 innings. And their matchups in their career, it's been advantage of Presley. Seager 0 for 7 against Ryan with a couple of strikeouts.
Swing and a miss.
Gets him to swing through a fastball 0-1.
So it's 0-1.
Mariners got 1 runner to second base in the 5th inning. That runner was wiped out on the double play that Blummer talked about, started by Greinke.
Pitch coming up here. Swing and a foul tip. So that's going to make it 0-2.
It's 0-2.
Couple of fastballs to get ahead against a left-handed hitter. He's got some options now that he's ahead 0-2. Try and get up in the zone or break off the curveball or slider down and in.
On the ground.
So it's a ground ball, so that ends the game. Final score. So final score 1-0. Astros win tonight. Good night for the Astros. Only scoring the 1 run, so we'll give you that the score and play, and we'll wrap this up. We'll give you the box score, the final box score. Okay, the only score began in the 4th inning when Taylor Jones had a single that made it 1-0. That was on a 3-ball, 1-strike pitch. So that's how the game was. 1-0 is your final score. Hitting for the Astros tonight, 10 hits tonight, so excellent night hitting the ball for the Astros, but they only managed to get 1 run. Mariners, no runs, 4 hits, no errors. So your pitcher, Zach Greinke tonight, 8 innings of work. He gave up 4 hits. And 6 strikeouts. Presley came in, struck out 1 in the game tonight. Astros gave up only 4 hits, no runs. There was 7 strikeouts. They had no walks in the game. So for the Astros, Tucker went 1 for 4. Grunner went 0 for 4. Brantley went 2 for 4. Collis. Correa's went 1 for 3. Diaz went 1 for 4. Toro went 1 for 4. Jones went 1 for 4. Cash went 1 for 4. And Straw went 2 for 4 tonight. So he had a good night hitting the ball 2 for 4. So doubles was Brantley hitting a double. So the total bases was Brantley, Cash, Steele, Correa, Diaz, and Straw. RBI was Jones. 2 out RBI was Jones. Runners in scoring position was Castro and Correa. Runners in scoring position, the Astros went 1 for 7 tonight. They left 8 men on base, so 8 men on base for them. So final score, Astros win 1-0. So once again, that concludes tonight's broadcast here on Facebook, YouTube, and Twitter. Thanks for joining us tonight. We will have Sports Talk tomorrow. So we will be back on the air tomorrow. So everybody have a good rest of your Saturday evening, and we'll be back tomorrow for Sports Talk.